Greetings, wrestling fans. Whoa. Welcome back to the channel. Today, I sat down and I watched AEW Double or Nothing. There was only a few matches I really wanted to see, but I'll give you guys an entire review and talk about the entire show and give you guys what I thought about every single match on the card. And I know majority are going to disagree with me and probably get very angry and yell at some of the things I say, because people do not like people having different opinions about stuff. So, one of the big things I wasn't a fan of is that they put Deonna Purrazzo and Thunder Rosa on the pre-show. Not a fan of that, didn't really like that. That was one of the matches I really wanted to see, and I could not watch it because of the pre-show. I think it's on the buy-in show, might be on the buy-in. I think that was their pre-show. I didn't bother to look, but anyway. But Deonna Purrazzo won that matchup against Thunder Rosa, that was, and all that. And apparently the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn defeated the Cage of Agony. If there was a way I could watch these matches, maybe I'll go look at the buy-in and see if I can watch it that way. I will take a look at that. So anyway, so those are the two pre-show matches. Bit bummed that they put Deonna and Thunder Rosa on the pre-show. I felt like they could have swapped that out for Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta, or hell, even Chris Jericho's match. But anyway, anyway. So the main show kicks off with Will Ospreay taking on Roderick Strong of the Undisputed Kingdom. Undisputed. And it is for the AEW International Championship. I guess the International Championship is their Intercontinental Championship, I'm assuming. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. Feels like their version of the Intercontinental Championship. But it was a really good match. 17 minutes and 40 seconds of great action. Will Ospreay gets the win and wins the title from Roderick Strong. I personally feel that the Undisputed Kingdom could have been a whole lot bigger. I think the Undisputed Kingdom could have been a whole lot bigger, but I think a lot of people just didn't really like it. And also, I think the members they picked weren't exactly thrilling, like Matt Tarver, Mike Bennett. I don't think, the members they picked were all that exciting either. But yeah, bit underwhelming, the Undisputed Kingdom. So then we get the Bang Bang Gang of Jay White and the Guns, Austin Gunn and Colton Gunn. Ha 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 ha. Bang Bang. Because their last names are Gunn. Because their names are the Guns. So Bang Bang, that's what guns make. Anyway, so Jay White and the Guns take on Death Triangle of Pac, Ray Phoenix, I think that's how you say it, and Penta Del Zero, Meadow. That's a long-ass name. And it's for the World Trios Championship, Unified World Trios Championship. You know, I might be in my minority here. I'm not a fan of this trio championship thing. I think this is kind of a pointless belt to make. And I think the only reason why they made it is because, they have a lot of factions. They have a lot of groups. They have a lot of factions. So, let's just make a belt for factions. Because, we have a lot of factions. And I'm also might be in my minority, but I'm not a fan of multi-person tags. I always think they're very messy, sometimes very slow, so I'm not a big fan of kind of multi-person tags, and yes, I know, the main event was a multi-person tag, so you're probably not going to be happy with me saying stuff about that, but we'll get to it. But Jay White and the Guns win here. They defeat Death Triangle to retain their trio tag team title belts. Now we get to Timeless Toni Storm with Mariah May and an old man named Luther. She takes on Serena Deeb. Now here's the thing. I know who Serena Deeb is. Some of you may think I might not know who she is. I do know who she is. I know she was in WWE briefly when she was with CM Punk and Luke Gallows and Joey Mercury in the Straight Edge Society. I don't think she wrestled all that much in WWE as far as I'm aware. I only remember once I saw a picture of her pinning Kelly Kelly. Maybe that was the only match she had, but I remember she wasn't very much of a wrestler in WWE. And even if she was there, I didn't really know much about her at the time, and I didn't really think highly of her at the time. But I can definitely say my opinion has definitely changed on Serena since then. I've seen some of her matches in AEW, and I think she's quite good. The whole professor gimmick is pretty interesting. I think it's pretty interesting, and she's all about the submission holds. So I think that's really fun as well. She's all about submissions, and I think that's good. Now, another thing I find confusing is I don't know who the babyface or the heel is. Because Mariah May, on the outside, was doing the whole babyface thing, you know, on the apron, slamming the apron, putting the hands down and smacking the apron to get the crowd to rally. You know, I saw Mariah May doing that, so it kind of made me think Mariah May and Toni Storm are the baby faces here. So, I'm kind of confused. I don't really like it when you have two... This is why heel versus heel doesn't work. This is why you never do heel versus heel. Because it's much easier to do it with two faces, but when you have two heels against each other, it's much harder, because then when you have two heels fighting each other, then you're forcing your audience to pick a side. Then you're forcing your audience to pick a side and who they should cheer for. Like with the tag team match they had, where Toni and Mariah versus Saraya and Harley Cameron. Both of those teams are heels. So the crowd instinctively was cheering for Mariah May and Toni Storm. Because, well, the fans would rather cheer them than cheer Saraya and Harley Cameron. So it's kind of like you're making the audience choose who they want to support. And I know this may be a controversial opinion. I don't know if it is an opinion or if it's fact at this point. But I know a lot of people are going to be very upset at me for making this comment. But when I look at this AEW Women's Division, I look at a phenomenal division. And I think it is far better than WWE's. Like, you've got Deonna Purrazzo and Thunder Rosa, Mariah May, Toni Storm, Serena Deeb, Mercedes, Willow, Chris Nightingale, Anna Jay, Saraya, Harley Cameron, who's only had 3 matches. Harley Cameron, who's only had 3 matches and is already is already having good showings. You've got you've got Britt Baker possibly coming back whenever she's ready, and you've got Jamie Hayter whenever she's ready to come back. Like, there's just so many good people in the AEW's women's division right now. So again, many people may not like that opinion, but I think AEW's women's division is far more interesting and possibly better than WWE's right now. Because when I see these matches, I see good talent. And the matches don't bore me to death, and they don't make me go, oh yeah, that was predictable. Toni Storm versus Serena Deeb felt like a match that I could have seen Serena Deeb win, but Toni Storm did win. She was able to retain And hopefully maybe we'll see what they go from there. I also heard they brought back the Owen Hart tournament, and the winner of the Owen Hart tournaments get a title shot. Sounds similar to the King and Queen of the Rings that WWE just did. Not taking any jabs, I'm just saying it's not taking any jabs. It's just similar to what WWE did. They're just taking the similar path to what WWE did with their tournaments. Because the last Owen Hart tournaments, Adam Cole and Britt Baker won, and they gave them some kind of belt. Like they gave Adam Cole and Britt Baker 2 belts. Like they gave them a belt. And then I think the last one, they gave Willow Nightingale a trophy. So first they gave Britt and Adam a pink belt. Then Willow Nightingale and whoever won the men's one got a trophy. And now this Owen Hart tournament, they're going to get a title shot. So I don't think it's a coincidence that they're kind of taking the same route that WWE are taking with the King and Queen of the Ring tournaments. Not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying they're taking a similar route to what they did, which I think is the correct decision. I think it's the correct decision. Like the winner of these tournaments should get title shots. You know? So I think it's the correct way to handle it. So Orange Cassidy took on Trent Beretta. That name is very familiar. I think he used to be in WWE. I remember a guy in WWE named Trent Beretta. I think it might be the same guy. But yeah, this was a match I didn't really care about all that much. This could have been... I don't know why these two were fighting. Again, I'm not a weekly viewer. I'm not a guy who tunes in every single Thursday and Sunday and Saturday because Dynamite's on Thursdays for me and Rampage is on Saturday, the same day as SmackDown, and then you got Collision that is also on Sunday. So I don't watch weekly. And Australia doesn't have it. And AEW doesn't air in Australia. So that's the other big problem here. Before any people start yelling at me and thinking, I don't watch weekly, or I don't know what's going on. Australia doesn't have it. I'm only just watching the stuff off YouTube. I only watch the clips and all that off YouTube if it's anything I'm interested in. So there you go, before anyone starts yelling at me. So yeah, feels like this is just a random match they just added for no reason. I don't know why these two were fighting. But Orange Cassidy won. Didn't really care about this. Then we get a Chris Jericho triple threat as he defends the FTW Championship against Hook and, oh my god, I'm probably going to say this guy's name wrong. Katsuyuri Shibata? Sorry if I pronounced his name wrong. Sorry if I pronounced that guy's name wrong. In a 3-way FTW rules match. What is an FTW's rule match? I have no idea. If anyone knows what the hell that is, then just be sure to let me know what the hell that is, because I have no idea what an FTW rule match is. So, Chris Jericho won this. I couldn't say I cared about this. I don't care about any of the guys that are in this match. Hell, not even Chris Jericho. Like, I used to like Jericho. With the whole list of Jericho. I thought Chris Jericho was entertaining with the whole list of Jericho. But nowadays, Jericho's just overstaying his welcome at this point. Fans don't want to see him anymore. They're chanting, please retire. Fans just don't care about the Ayatollah of rock and roller anymore. And so another thing I want to mention before we move on to the next match is that we saw Adam Cole in the ring. He cut a promo. He was cutting an in-ring promo, and he was talking about him being the devil. He made a deal with the devil and all that stuff. And he's talking, and he calls himself the best wrestler in the world. He calls himself one of the best wrestlers in the world. But apparently Mercedes Moné calling herself the best wrestler in the world triggers the entire internet and says that she's got an ego problem. And see, that's the problem here. You know, Adam Cole and all these other wrestlers, everyone calls themselves the best wrestler in the world, but Mercedes saying it? Oh, nah, that's crossing the line. She's egotistical. Get out of here. But he says when he gets cleared, he talks about being cleared. I think he's talking about getting ready to get cleared to wrestle, I think. So he's going to be wrestling very, very soon. But as he was wrapping up his promo, the lights went out. And then we saw the return of Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF. I just had to. I thought it was funny. Anyway, so MJF comes back. And my God! The ovation was deafening. It was so loud. It was so loud. Such a deafening, roaring ovation. As the moment that MJF's music hit, the entire arena felt like it was about to explode. Huge ovation for the return of MJF, and I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy. But I think that ovation for MJF's return was massively louder than CM Punk's return at the Survivor Series. I don't want to be that guy, but I think it might have topped it. But yeah, MJF is back, and he's now coming for Adam Cole, baby. And honestly, MJF was one of the only guys I really watched. He was one of the only male guys I really watched. His segments and all that, I only really watched his stuff when he was there. So I think it's great to see MJF back. He was really, really needed. He was really, really needed. He feels like, not saying he is, but he kind of feels like the Steve Austin and The Rock of AEW. Just so popular, so over. He's just that star people just want to see. And I think that's what makes MJF so great. He was one of the most despicable heels during his early years, but now he's arguably the most popular babyface in the world right now. Amazing stuff. Amazing ovation. That was so loud. It was so loud that when I was watching the clip on my phone, I was like, wow, that is a huge ovation. Incredible. So then we get Jon Moxley versus Konoshi Tanahashi, I think this is how you say his name, with John Callis. So Jon Moxley is now the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. Didn't know that, but he is. Didn't know he was the IWGP World Champion, but he is, because this was labeled as an IWGP World Heavyweight Championship elimination match. Oh, Eliminator, sorry. And Jon Moxley won this match, and it said that if Tanahashi won, he would have received a future World Heavyweight Championship match if he beat Jon Moxley. So yeah, there's that. So we have Edge, Adam Copeland, defending the TNT Championship against Malachi Black, in a barbed-wired steel cage. I think it's ironic that Edge is feuding with the guy that was supposed to originally lead the Judgment Day. So the former leader of the Judgment Day takes on the guy that was originally supposed to lead the Judgment Day. And it's kind of ironic, and the reason why I say this is because people compare Aleister Black's House of Black to the Judgment Day. I've seen a lot of people compare Malachi's House of Black and compare it to the Judgment Day, and how both of them are incredibly similar. So I think it's ironic that Adam Copeland is feuding with AEW's version of the Judgment Day. But yeah, it's kind of ironic. So Gangrel returns and helps out Edge, his old buddy from the Brood in WWE, and And Adam Copeland wins the match. He defeats Malachi Black via technical knockout. Kind of wish Aleister Black won this, but, sorry, Malachi Black. Wish Malachi Black won this, but oh well. So now we get the match that I've been waiting for. Mercedes Moné, the CEO of the women's division. She takes on Willow Nightingale to take on Strickland Hathaway and Chris Statlander. I don't know about you guys, but this Strickland guy looks like that guy named Malcolm Bivens. He looks like that Malcolm Bivens guy that used to manage the Diamond Mine. I don't know. He just looks very similar. They just look alike. Mercedes returns, and my God, her ring attire, man. Her ring attire was fantastic. Her ring attire was fantastic. Her hair was straight fire, because her hair was fire, and all that. She just generally looked so happy to be back, man. She just looked so happy to be back there, and all that. And it was a great matchup. 18 minutes of great matchup. Look, of a great match. Look, I'm not the biggest fan of Willow Nightingale. I'm not the biggest Willow Nightingale person. Still not the biggest fan of her, but still not the biggest fan of her, but she's definitely grown on me. Still not a full-on fan of hers, but you know, she's grown on me. And this is one of the things I have a big problem with. When I see Mercedes wrestle and how she sells for her opponents, when I see Mercedes wrestle, and when I see her bumping and selling for her opponents, she's easily the best seller out of everyone. She makes every move look devastating. She makes everything look painful. She makes every move, every blow, every single thing that her opponents do to her. She makes everything look devastating. And this is what I miss. And this is what I miss with most wrestlers today. Like people like Charlotte and Becky. And some of the bigger names in WWE. Like, you just do not see them sell moves like Mercedes. Even just a simple punch, or a simple knee, or a simple kick. Mercedes sells it to make it look as devastating as possible. The last few people I know who made wrestling moves look that looked devastating was Kelly, Mercedes, and AJ Lee. And maybe Cora Jade, because I've seen Cora Jade kind of sell similarly to Mercedes, but you just do not see people sell like Mercedes, and I think people really should sell a bit more like Mercedes. Make everything look devastating, even if it's just a punch, even if it's just a worked punch, or a worked kick. She just makes everything look brutal, and I think that's what wrestling needs to see nowadays. Make things look as brutal as possible, and that's what I love about Mercedes. Her selling is just incredible. She makes everything look devastating, and that's why when she's in the ring with someone like Willow Nightingale, who I'm not a big fan of, she just makes her moves look devastating. She makes her moves look very devastating, and I think that's what, and it just makes me wonder, how do people not like this woman? How do you not like this woman? How do you not like someone like Mercedes? She backs up everything she says. Everything she says she backs it up. She backs it up. She is indeed one of the best wrestlers in the world, and it's so annoying to hear people say, "Oh, she's egotistical. She's got a big ego because she said she's the best wrestler in the world." I mean, come on, freaking CM Punk, Chris Jericho, and so many other wrestlers call themselves the best in the world. And that's the thing that drives me nuts. So many wrestlers have called themselves the best in the world. But if Mercedes said it while she was working for WWE, I'm pretty sure people would have agreed with her. But anyway, Mercedes won. she hits the moneymaker to put away Willow Nightingale and to become the AEW TBS Women's Champion. Now, I know it doesn't say Women's, it's just called AEW TBS Champion. And all that. So, great stuff, great decision. Mercedes winning her first match back just makes too much sense. And of course, people complained about Mercedes getting a title shot immediately when so many people in AEW have probably done it, like Edge, John Moxley, CM Punk. You know, so many people have come into AEW and have gotten title shots immediately. But all I'm saying is, but to all the Mercedes haters out there, I've got 3 words for you: cry me a river and cry about it. Mercedes is the champ. So happy to see Mercedes back. And I think she has potential, and I think she could put on and have the best title reign with that championship. She might not pass Jade Cargill's reign. She may not pass Jade Cargill's reign, but she has the biggest potential to do so. And with the great women's roster they have, like, imagine Mercedes versus Saraya in Wembley. Mercedes versus Jamie Hayter, Britt Baker, Deonna, Thunder Rosa, Mariah May, Serena Deeb, Anna Jay. There's just so many people Mercedes can wrestle with, and that is why I'm so glad she didn't go back to WWE. Because she'd basically be wrestling the same people that she's wrestled before. She's already wrestled majority of the roster that's in WWE. Other than Lyra Valkyria, Blair Davenport, maybe Dakota Kai, and obviously most people from NXT. But other than that, she's already wrestled majority of WWE's roster. So that is one of the biggest reasons why I'm glad she's in AEW. She's got more options. She's got more options, and that's why I love her, because she's got way more options. So we get Swerve Strickland defending the AEW World Heavyweight Championship against Christian. I don't know why Christian is getting a world title shot, but okay. So, this match, that's all I can really say, is Was never the biggest fan of Swerve, even when he was in WWE, and all that. It's crazy that they took the title off Samoa Joe so early. I think that's the biggest thing that blows my mind. They took the title off Joe so early in his title reign when he beat MJF, but, oh well. Yeah, didn't really care for this match. Swerve won, he beat Christian. So, nothing I can really say there. So, next, and I need to move my camera out of the way just a bit. So, I need to move my camera out of the way so I can see the names here. So, the main event match was the Elite of Okada, Jack Perry, the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, taking on Team AEW of Bryan Danielson, Darby Allin, and FTR, Cash Wheeler, and Dax Harwood in an Anarchy in the Arena match. I'm not sure what that means, but okay. I'm not sure what that kind of match is, but okay. And as you guys heard me saying earlier in the review, yeah, not a big fan of these multi-man kind of tag matches, so they can be a bit clunky, as I talked about before, with the Bang Bangs versus Death Triangle. But it's the main event. It was still good. I think it probably means no DQ. But anyway, the Elite ended up winning. The Elite ended up winning here. The heels ended up winning, which I think makes a lot of sense because you want to keep them strong. So there you go. So there you go. Okada, Jack Perry, and the Bucks were able to win against Team AEW. I guess you could say this is the alternative of the Nexus versus Team WWE. I felt like John Cena really should have put over the Nexus that time. But regardless. Anyway, thank you all. So that is the end of my AEW review, guys. Sorry I didn't have much to say about the main event. Not the biggest fan of these multi-person tags. But overall, it was still a fun show. I had fun watching it. Didn't care about some of the matches, but I had fun watching the show. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. And I will hit that like button, subscribe, and I will see you all on the other side.